Okay, nearly there. So everyone who's just coming a bit late, can you go to question 14 and try this one? Put your answer in the chat box. Okay, we've got one answer, a couple of answers coming in. So I'll wait for you to do that one. So if you do make any error, you can check when we do the actual solution. So I'll wait for you for a minute. I'm getting a few answers coming in already. So try that one and we'll solve it in a couple of minutes. I'll let you know when I'm going to solve it, so you'll know to type in an answer. Okay, so do that one quick. We will probably finish this unit before we get back to school. So when we get back to school, I'll give you a quiz on this work, probably just one quiz that summarizes each part of the unit. So this time we need to take more care with the work because I'll give you a quiz on it, which will be part of your score. And that score also goes into your midterm score as well. So because it's looking like we won't have a midterm test at this time, so any quizzes will be used in the midterm score as well. Okay, a few more answers coming in, so do that quickly. I know it's a bit hard in the morning, like 8 o'clock, but okay, a few answers coming in. Looks like they're correct at this time, the ones that I'm getting. Remember, the sign will, if it's got an equal sign here, then it will also carry over into your answer here. So if this is less than or equal to, the equal to part needs to be included in your final answer. So just see if you forgot that or not. So if you're writing that answer in the chat box, X, you can do it like that if you want, if you can't actually do the symbol. So that's the same as that, okay? Okay, nearly ready for the answer? I'll give you one more minute. You can look at the next one if you're waiting. Let's see what the next question is. Yeah, take a think about 15. How would you do question 15 while you're waiting? You can try that. Okay, ready for the answer? It's 8:08, so let's try. So we're going to expand these. So if you're trying to finish it, put your answer in now. So 4 times 2 is 8x. 4 times minus 3, that's going to be minus 12, negative 12. Plus 2 1s are 2. Minus 2 2s are 4x. Less than or equal to 2x minus 5. So we can try to group our x's here. Let's do that first. So we've got 8x minus 4x. That's going to be 4x. Minus 12 plus 2. That's minus 10. Less than or equal to 2x minus 5. Okay, so we try to get the x's on the left. You can put them on the right, but it's just more traditional. We usually have the variable on the left side. So put your 2x to this side. So that would become minus 2x. So you'll have 4x minus 2x. And then put your minus 10 on the other side. So that would become 10 minus 5. So remember to change the sign when you're moving your stuff around. So 4x minus 2x is 2x. 10 minus 5 is 5. And then to get rid of the 2, we divide it by positive 2. So the sign doesn't change direction. So x will be less than or equal to 2.5. And on your number line, which you will normally be asked to do. So don't forget your number line on these questions in the homework, because that's 1 mark. Okay, so for these questions, and I've already marked a couple, and I'm not giving anything back yet, but these questions are 3 marks. So you'll get 2 marks for your answer here. And you may lose a mark or something if your sign is the wrong direction or something like that. But I think the ones I've marked so far have been correct. So I'll think about how I'm going to mark this bit. And your number line will be 1 mark. Okay, so 2, 3. So less than or equal to 2.5 in the middle there. And go that direction. Okay, so these questions are 3 marks each. And there's that homework sheet is 85 marks. The one that I'm asking you to submit to me very soon. All right, so let's look at question 15. Now let's look at an easier example before we do this one. What if you had root x equals 4? So think about what is the root of what number would give you 4? Root, what number, square root, what number gives 4? We know that the square root of 16 is 4, isn't it? Okay, root 16 is 4. So this is going to have to be 16. So we know x will be 16. But probably a better way to do it, rather than trying to guess the answer, because you may end up with a decimal, which is going to be difficult to guess. So if you've got root x equals 4, we can square both sides. Okay, because the square root of x is x. Okay, because remember, a square will cancel a square root. So x will be equal to 16, which we've learned about in quadratics already. So x here will be 16. So you can actually do the same thing for inequalities. And that won't change the sign, because when you square something, it's going to be positive, isn't it? So the good thing about inequalities is that whatever x is, it doesn't matter. It still will make this positive. So the sign doesn't have to change, because this number is always going to be positive. So if you square root x minus 5, that square will cancel this square root. So you'll get x minus 5 is less than 3 squared is 9. And then we can finish it and we'll check the answer. So x will be less than 9, add 5 to both sides. That will cancel. So x will be 9 plus 5, that's going to be 14. So x must be less than 14, okay, to give a number less than 3 here. So you can check that yourself if you wanted to. But that's the way to do these problems. I'm not going to give you much on this yet. So not much. And you saw there's none in the homework, because this kind of problem, I'd like to teach this separately if I teach this. Okay, so you're going to come across this method a little bit later on. This is absolute value, and I'm going to give you some extra sheet on this probably in a couple of weeks. So next week, I want to do some compound inequalities, and this will be in a couple of weeks. So not today, because we want to learn how to do this properly. And I don't want to do that just for one question, because you see in here, there's only actually one question, and that's not enough to practice those problems. Okay, so I'll give you stuff on that separately. Okay, so go down to question 2 here. So solving these inequalities, and you would have seen these in the homework. Okay, so if you've done your homework already, obviously you know how to do these. So if you did your homework, and I know there's a few students, you can work ahead of me, okay, because you obviously know how to do these. So for those who know how to do them, you can work ahead. You don't really have to listen to me unless you want to check your understanding. Okay, but those who haven't done them yet are going to need to learn how to do this. All right, so, but if you know how to do it, just work ahead and do them. And then I'll ask you for the answer in the chat box later anyway. So we've got to take a look at these denominators. And when we have denominators, we really don't want these numbers here, do we? We like to have just a single number, not a fractional number here. So we've got 7 and 2 and 14. So if we multiplied by 14, we could get rid of all these numbers, couldn't we? So if we multiplied this by 14, this by 14, and this by 14, you will see that we can calculate. So in the chat box, I know I just got one answer. So for the chat box, so if you're doing in the chat box, just do question 1. Don't go to the other ones yet, or you'll confuse me when I'm checking it later. So if you're doing in the chat box, just do 1 for now, but don't do any more in the chat box yet, okay? So just wait for me. So we'll multiply everything by 7 here. So I'm going to cancel that 7 into the 14. We'll give 2, won't it? So we'll get 2x. 2 into 14 is 7. So I'll get 7 here. And less than 14 and 14 will cancel, less than 9. Simple as that. Because you're multiplying by a positive number, the signs don't change. You see that? If you multiply by negative 14, this sign would have to reverse and go in the other direction. So don't change sign. Okay, so I'll let you finish that one because some students are already putting answer in the chat box. So can you finish this one and put your answer in the chat box? Because I've already started and some students have already done that. So X what, okay? So put that one in. I'll give you a minute to do that. "13 answers, good. So keep going, do that quickly, because this one's a gift. You just have to finish the question. Okay, nearly done, everyone. Just rearrange it. Any more? Okay, so we'll, yeah, quickly. So I'm going to finish the answer now. So put it in at 818. So we've got a 7 here, which we don't want. So subtract 7 from both sides. So 2x is less than 9 minus 7 is 2. So 9 minus 7, 2. Okay, so now divide by 2. Positive number, so leave the sign alone. X less than 1. Okay, and you can put it back in there and check if you like. All right, so let's just stop there for that one. So for question 2, so stop it. Don't go past question 2 in the chat box yet. So take a look at this one here. Okay, so I'll just start you a little bit and I'll get you to try and finish. So for the chat box, only up to question 2. And when I ask for question 2, so you can put question 2 in the chat box now, but don't put 3 in the box yet. Notice you've got 7 here and a 10. And there's actually a 1 on that one, isn't there? 0 and 1 is 0. There's a 1 there, which we don't normally write. So what we would multiply then is 7 and 10. So they will both divide into 70. So that's the lowest common multiple, actually. So what we call the lowest common multiple, which would be 7 times 10, which is 70. So that's the smallest number that these will divide into. So multiply everything by 70. Well, that's going to become 0 on the right side. So you do that, okay? And I'll wait for your answer and see if you can do this one correctly. And 70 here. All right, so go cancelling your 7 and your 10 and try and finish it. So chat box to that one. And other student can move ahead with the answers. But I'll give you about until 8:23, 8:24. It's 8:21 now. So try that one. And you can also put your answer on a number line. This one's going to have a fraction in it, which is not very nice. Oops. Okay, let's see what we're getting. Right. So the answers I've got so far are correct. So I got 3 answers from 3 students and they're correct. So you can move on. So remember to cancel your 7 into 70. Right? So do that. Let me make it a bit bigger. There. Okay. All right, so if you're still working, cancel out your 7 and 70. This will give 10, yeah? So do that if you're a bit confused. And then 10 into 70 will give 7. Then you're going to need to expand this into these numbers. And this will be 0 on this right side. So keep going. Don't worry if you get it wrong. I'm going to go through the answer. But have a go. And be careful, you've got a negative, and this is -7. Okay, it was actually a -7 there. So make sure you multiply that negative sign in as well. Okay, any more answers? You will get a fraction answer. You may need your calculator to help a bit. All right, keep trying. Other student, move ahead a bit. Yeah, so you should call this Q2 in your chat box, just so I'm, especially if you get the answer wrong, it's hard for me to follow which question you were doing. So you should actually tell me the question number as well. If your answer is correct, it's not a problem, but if you're not correct, it's hard for me to follow later. Nearly ready for me to do it? I'll do the first line anyway, just in case you're a bit stuck, and then I'll wait a little bit. So we've got 10 times 7. So you're going to get 70x here. 10 times minus 10 minus 100. But you need to be careful here. This is actually -7, which will give you -21x. -7 times 5 plus 35. So if you want to change your answer now, you can. So you've got to be a little bit careful because this is in brackets. So make sure you keep this in a bracket and then expand the -7 because this is negative. So that negative has to carry into this term here. So then you will group your numbers. So let's just write them together. So 70x minus 21x less than or equal to 100 minus 35. So I'm going to add 100 to both sides. And I'll subtract 35 from both sides, just so I can cancel that out. Or just move them and change the sign. So that would be 100 minus 35. 70 minus 21, that's 50. 49, isn't it? Yeah. X less than or equal to 65. Okay, any more answers? Be quick. All right. So X is less than or equal to 65 on 49. That's your answer there. So if you didn't quite get that, just have a look at your working and see what you did wrong. And then you can fix it up now. So I'll leave that there a minute. I'll just scroll up a bit for the next question. So that should be your answer there for question 2. And that's according to my answer key. That should be correct. So the next question, this one we can't do because we don't know whether we need to change the sign or not, because you don't know whether x plus 1 is positive or negative, this one here. So if you multiplied both sides by x plus 1, you can do that, but we don't know whether we need to change the sign or not. So there's a way to do these, which you'll learn in grade 10. I'm not sure why they put this in here. The problem is x in the denominator here. That's our problem. If you've got x in the denominator, it gets a little bit more complicated. So leave that one for now. You're going to see it again. Okay, try this one. So for question 4 in your chat box, you need to expand first. So I'm just going to let you do that one for yourself, by yourself for a while. So question 4 and x something. All right, try that one. I know some of you are probably up to that already. So do that one. I'll give you a few minutes for that one. So remember, when you're expanding, just to remind you, a plus b all squared is the same as a plus b times a plus b. So this is your square of the sum, which can be written as a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So don't get tricked up on that one. And if this is minus, these will both be negative, and this will be negative here. Okay, so take note of that when you're expanding. All right, do that one. You see, you can't take the square root of both sides, can you? What happens? And there's 8 answers anymore. You get a nice answer. Not too complicated. So I'll expand the first side just in case you're stuck. So we could use these rules here. I would use this one here, where this is A and B. So if you have a problem with this formula, just refer to here. So you're going to have A squared, so that's X squared. And it's minus, so we're using minus. So minus 2AB, so minus 2AB plus B squared. Okay, I'll just write it out fully for those who don't understand. And this will be A squared, so X squared plus 2AB plus B squared. So I'm just reading the formula out as I write the numbers. Okay, with this? So you'll have X squared minus 2 5s of 10x plus 25 less than X squared plus 2x plus 1. All right, I'll give you a minute to finish that if you're a bit slow. So finish it from there. What happens to the X squared? You can see what happens there. Okay, nearly done. So let's finish that one. So if you're a bit bored, just work ahead. So we've got X squared both sides. So let's cancel that out, because if you move one X squared, you'll get X squared minus X squared, which is 0. So if the number's the same side, you just cancel it out. So we could bring our 2x across to be minus 2x. That would be minus 12x. And 1 minus 25. Could have gone the other way, but 1 minus 25. Sorry. 25. So minus 12x less than minus 24. So the way I did it, I've got a negative 12x on this side. So we need to divide by negative 12x. And then remember to change the sign here. Sorry, negative 12. So negative 12. So x will be greater than 2. Remember, you're dividing by negative. here. So we need to change our sign direction. Yeah, so x greater than 2. Number line, you've got 0 here, you've got 2 there. So in that direction for the number line. Okay, how are we going? Ooh, another one. Here you can try this. This one's quite long, so now you need to multiply these out. So this will be question 5 in the chat box. X something. So when you do this one, just seeing if there's another way. No. Okay, so it means you need to expand. I was looking for something and I couldn't see it. So multiply these out and then simplify. Try that. Okay, do that one. That's question 5. So Q5 and then the answer. So you should be pretty good at this by now. But I'll give you some more information that's not in the book that I think will be very useful, especially for grade 10. This will be a fraction, this answer, according to the answer key. Well, there's only 2 more to go. So I'll give you a few minutes on this one. Okay, 4 answers. Keep trying. 5, and more than that. So I'll do the first bit just to check you're going okay. So x times x, we'll have x squared. X times 1, that's x. Minus 3 times x, minus 3x. Minus 3 times 1, minus 3. Okay, so plus, and then do this side. 4 times 1, 4. 4 times minus x minus 4x, x times 1x, x times minus x minus x squared greater than or equal to 0. So just see what you can simplify here. Notice you've got x squared and minus x squared, so they will cancel out. So do that. All right, I'll let you finish it a bit more. So if you didn't get to that line correctly, go back and fix it up. If you're waiting, you can do question 6, but don't put the answer in yet. Because we've got 9 minutes, so try and finish 5 and 6. So if you are working ahead, you can put question 6 in, but call it Q6 if you do that. Anyone else for this question? So you can just do bit by bit, x minus 3x. So it's minus 2x minus 3 plus 4 minus 4 plus x minus 3x greater than or equal to 0. So minus 2 minus 3 minus 5x. And then you've got 4 minus 3 is 1 greater than or equal to 0. Like that. So subtract 1 from both sides. Greater than or equal to minus 1, negative 1. And now you need to divide by negative 5. So this will cancel. And then you're dividing by a negative number. So change the direction on your sign. And that will be 1/5. So you should have gotten that answer for question 5. Okay, and on the number line, if it's a really small fraction, you could actually go 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 1. So this is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So if you actually want to be like, actually to show a number like that, you could actually do it that way, where this is 1. So 1/5 would be here, because I've broken it up into fifths. So it's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So you could show it like that if you wanted to on a number line. That's minus 1/5. And 2 would be way out there somewhere. Okay, so question 6, Q6 now, last one. And we have 7 minutes left. Take a look at your numbers, 4, 5, and 8. There's actually a 1 here. So what would be the LCM, the lowest common multiple? Here would be 40. So multiply everything by 40. So we want to get rid of these denominators. We really don't want to have denominators here. That's 1. It's not actually there, but we'll leave it like that. So multiply everything by 40, every part. So you do that and then simplify. Even this one here. 40 here. 40 here. And 40 here. And then cancel your denominators out. Okay, try that one for a while. See if you can get that answer. Question 6. So that's the last one. And I'll give you some new stuff next week. We'll do the word problems a little bit later. Okay, do that one. Okay, a couple of answers. It's not that simple, but right. So the ones that have sent me are correct so far. Okay, any more? So I'll start you off a little bit. 4 into 40 is 10. And you've got a negative here, a negative sign, minus sign. So it'll be negative 10 times 3. 5 into 40 is 8. 8 times 4x, so plus times 4x. 8 into 40 is 5. So that would be 5 times 11 plus 40x. 8 into 40, 5. 5 times 5. So you should have something like that as the first line. So that would be minus 30. 4 eighths 32x greater than equal to 5 11s 55 plus 40x minus 25. So I'll wait a minute, see if you can finish it from that point there. Because our time is nearly run out. It's 8:49 now. So do that real quick. So we'll have minus 30 plus 32x greater than or equal to 55 minus 25 is 30. 40x. So put your x's on the other side. So 32x minus 40x. Just move this across and bring your minus 30 here. Will be 30 plus 30 is 60. So 32 minus 40 minus 8x greater than or equal to 60. Okay, and then we divide by negative 8 there. Cancel that. So x would be less than or equal to 60 on 8. So 15 on 2 minus 15 on 2, negative 15 on 2. So negative 15 on 2. So let's go to 7.5. So that should be your answer there for that one. Okay, not too bad. It all works out okay. So we'll stop there anyway because it's 8:50. And I think that was the last question. So that's good that we finish those up. Okay, so the next section, we won't do the word problem just yet because I want to give you some different things next week, which are linear inequalities, but a little bit different. So next week, I might get you to solve something like 2 less than or equal to 3x plus 1, 12. And we need to find x. in this case. Or there could be an x plus 2 here and minus 5x there. So we want to know what is x that will make this true. So we'll do this next week. So this is compound inequalities. So I'll give you this now because in grade 10, you will see this a lot. So it's good to have that before you go into grade 10. All right, so we'll stop there and I'll put your information. I'll look at your information and your answers that you gave me today. All right, so I'll see you next week then, because we don't have class tomorrow. Okay, so your homework's due, so do that quickly and make sure you show the working, all the working, okay, because the ones that I marked so far have been pretty good. I've got all the complete working. So show the working to get all the marks when you do the worksheet. All right, I'll talk to you next week then. All right, bye-bye. Have a good weekend and good luck on your vaccinations when you get them.